You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. And we're going to pan you in live, folks. Welcome to Muldrow, Oklahoma. I know we've been here quite a bit. My name is Clint Davis. Alongside me is my broadcast partner, Dennis McCaslin, and we are with todayinfortsmith.com. And this is the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs starting out against the Sallisaw Lady Black Diamonds. And we have seen our starting lineup for the Sallisaw Lady Black Diamonds. And now coming in is your starting lineup for your Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. Coming out first, the 6'1", number 14, Taylon Collins. Number 15, Cameron Johnson, making her way out to the floor. There's a little hand slapping. And number 21, everybody's favorite, Hannah Boyette. There's a little, what is that, a towel throw, t-shirt throw? They never come over here for us. We'll have to see if we can catch some goodies. There's Shaylin Mays and Madison Chambers out on the floor for your Lady Bulldogs. And we are going to have the jump. And I'm assuming number 33, Mia Maxwell, she is a 6'1" freshman center for Sallisaw. She will be jumping against Taylon Collins. I don't think they've got BMO out there. BMO's the shortest one on the floor at 5'3". I don't see how this is going to be a jump ball matchup.
I think that the Lady Black Diamonds are conceding the tip on this one.
They may be. I heard somebody had pictures of this. There's the tip. BMO doesn't even jump. Taylon Collins tips it back to Hannah Boyette, and we are underway. Madison Chambers with the ball at the top of the key, over to the left side. Cameron Johnson down, back to Taylon Collins. Back to Cameron Johnson, back over to Madison Chambers. Over to Hannah Boyette. Over to Madison in the corner, down low to Cameron. Back out to Hannah Boyette, and she throws the ball away. An attempted no-look pass to Taylon Collins down low, and that didn't turn out well. There's a block shot by Taylon Collins, recovered by Hannah Boyette on a fast break to Madison Chambers, and she misses her shot. Taylon Collins with the rebound, and the shot back up is good. And Taylon Collins will go to the free throw line with the attempt at a three-point play here. And Taylon getting set for her first shot. And it's up. And that's good. Her first shot from the free throw line tonight is a success. And the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead 3-0 with 7:10 left in the first. And we are going to see Madison Chambers get whistled with her first foul. Maybe they're going to call that on Shaylin Mays. They've whistled 33, not 23. So here's Kaylee BMO looking for something to do for Sallisaw. Ball at the top of the key and out to the left. And BMO tries a fake and a drive. And we're going to get the ball lost down under the basket. And that was number 12, Cadence Beach. 5'5" junior guard. And here comes Taylon Collins with the inbound pass to Hannah Boyette. And Hannah's going to bring the ball up the floor. Pass back over to Taylon. The ball is past half court. And a pass to Cameron Johnson as she pulls up for a shot. And that's good for two. And the Lady Bulldogs are now up 5-0. 6:30 left in this first quarter. One team foul apiece, Muldrow and Sallisaw. Kaylee BMO with a pass out to the left, and they're going to whistle her for a travel. That is number 32, Tate Stites. She's a 5'8" sophomore forward for the Lady Diamonds. And here's Madison Chambers with the ball out of bounds. Pass over to Hannah Boyette, back to Madison. She's going to drive it all the way to the hoop with a shot up and loses the ball. Sallisaw recovered, and there's a pass that goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Lady Diamonds. And we're going to have a timeout, Sallisaw. We're going to take a break, and we will be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. And we're going to drag you back in here live with us. Here is the last play was out of bounds by Sallisaw, last touched by them. And now here's the inbound pass. Hannah B for three. And that is a little off the mark. Rebounded by Mia Maxwell. And here comes Sallisaw. And they're going to take their talents back up to the other side of the court. And there's Kaylee Bemo with a shot up and missed. And Mia Maxwell goes back up for a shot after the Sallisaw rebound, and that's no good. Rebounded by Shaylin Mays. And here comes Hannah Boyette down to Madison Chambers. A shot up is no good. Rebounded by Cameron Johnson, and her shot up is good. So there's another 2 points by the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs, and the score now 7-0. 5.5 left here in the first quarter. And a pass out to the left side. Sallisaw looking for a place to go, and there's a drive by Tate Stites, and her shot up is good. First 2 points of the game. Here's Hannah Boyette down to Taylon Collins. And Taylon is going to get whistled with the travel. Everybody and their mother saw that one. We are going to see a couple of substitutions here for Sallisaw. And here's the pass inbound. And the Lady Diamonds, no ball movement as of yet. Tate Stites wanted to drive. Pass the ball into Mia Maxwell, and here's the drive taken away by Hannah Boyette. But I believe they're going to call a jump ball, and Sallisaw will keep the ball. Now we've got people jumping in online with us. I knew it might take a minute. Here's the inbound pass over to Tate Stites, and there's a steal by Hannah Boyette. And she's on a fast break. Madison Chambers dished it off down low, and Madison goes up for a shot, and that's no good, but she does draw the foul. So with a score of 7-2 for those of you just now jumping into the game, the Lady Bulldogs are up by 5, 7-2, 4 minutes, 36 seconds left here in the first quarter. And Madison, her first shot up from the free throw line is a success. And now the score is 8-2 in Madison. Everything's quiet down here. Of course, Dennis in his public yawn. There's the second shot up, and that is good. Inbound pass over here to Sallisaw, and they're trying to get the ball up the floor, and they just throw it completely out of bounds.
These Muldrow girls just dominate so much that it makes me yawn.
I could tell. They do quite a good job. Here's the inbound pass from Madison Chambers to Hannah Boyette. She signals a three. She's not going to take one. There is a three. I'm wrong about that, and that's good. Hannah Boyette drains one from near the top of the key. And the Lady Bulldogs are up by 10, 12-2 with 4 minutes, 12 seconds left in this first quarter. Now Sallisaw takes Stites with the ball. We're going to have another timeout by Sallisaw. We will be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. And we're going to bring you back in live. The Lady Bulldogs already back out on the floor. And the cheerleaders trying to get everybody fired up. And Sallisaw, here comes the inbound pass. And there is a double dribble. The old two-handed ball job here. And the Lady Bulldogs will have the ball out of bounds. Here's the inbound pass to Cameron Johnson over to Taylon Collins, and she's going to drive to the hoop with a shot up. No good. Rebound by Shaylin Mays, and she goes up for a shot and gets stuffed on it, but she does draw the foul. So now, number 33, Shaylin Mays, she is going to go to the line. First one on the way, and that is no good. The score remains 12-2 with 3:55 left in the first quarter. There's Big Country making his way up the bleachers. There's the second shot up. That's no good. Rebounded by Madison Chambers, and a dish off to Taylon Collins down low. She powers her way to the hoop. And we're going to get a ball whistled out of bounds. Nope, they are going to call a foul on that.
I heard parents yelling from both sides then.
They were yelling from both sides. We had the stereo going. First shot up from Taylon Collins is good. And Cadence Beach back into the game for Sallisaw. Second shot up from Taylon Collins is no good. Lady Bulldogs still having their continued troubles from the free throw line like we saw in the Sequoia County tournament this past week. And we did get a foul on Hannah Boyette. And so now the Lady Diamonds have the basketball, and they're going to move it on up to their side of the floor. Cadence Beach trying to find somewhere to go. That was Mackenzie Beach, I'm sorry. I believe Madison Chambers now is going to get whistled for a foul.
It's Madison's first personal foul, the third team foul on the Lady Bulldogs.
Yeah, they're going to have to slow it down. But what's worth noting, Sallisaw has 14 fouls. Here's a pass out to the top and a little tiny drive, and it gets blocked by Madison Chambers. And here's a shot up, and that's an air ball under the basket. And Cameron Johnson with the rebound, passed over to Madison Chambers. And here come the Lady Bulldogs. Madison not slowing down. Now she's going to pull up at the top of the key. Over to the left to Hannah B. Hannah looking around, skip pass to the other side of the court to Madison Chambers, and she's going to travel, or at least that's the way they're going to call it. Here comes Alicia McCloria. Also Paige Hughes, little tiny Paige in the game. To date, Paige is the only Muldrow Lady Bulldog who has ever said a word to me. And it was high.
There may be a reason for that.
I'd stay away from everybody. I just stay up here at the table. There's a pass out to the three-point line. Sallisaw with the ball and a drive down low. Man, we are going to get a foul on the floor. This first quarter is starting to take forever. 2:57 left. Muldrow up 13-2.
You've been from Roland, and this being Muldrow, they're not required by law to talk to you.
I mean, I wear Muldrow clothing to these events, so I'm incognito. I'm fitting in with the locals. Here is Kaylee Bemo at the top of the key looking for a place to go. Pass back to the top of the key and over to the right. Bemo for three. That's good. And she drilled it from the right side. And that is just the 5th point of the game for Sallisaw. So the score is 13-5. Alicia McClory with a pass over to Hannah Boyette. She's going to dribble it on down and pass it off to Paige Hughes. Back to Hannah. Back to Paige. Paige down low to Shaylin Mays. She's going to turn around. And she's going to put up a shot that's good underneath the basket. Again, the score is now 15-5. Lady Bulldogs hanging on to that 10-point lead. And here is a pass by the Lady Diamonds, and there's a shot up and no good by Brittany Barker. She's a 5'2" freshman guard for Sallisaw. And she does draw the foul on the play, so Brittany is going to the line, and the Muldrow cheerleaders are about to get loud. First shot up by Barker is good. And Chelsea Passage coming into the game. We missed her during the tournament. I don't know if she was weathering an injury or what the deal was. Here's the second shot up. No good. Rebounded by Hannah Boyette. And a pass down to Passage. And Chelsea is going to dribble it back out. And Chelsea now has to be undoubtedly the smallest, tiniest player in the game. Paige Hughes with the ball on the right side. Paige back to Chelsea. Chelsea over to McCloria. McCloria down to Taylon Collins, and we're going to get an over-back foul on Mia Maxwell, the 6'1" freshman for Sallisaw. Now we're going to see number 55, Becca Kleinlein. She's a 5'11" sophomore center for the Lady Diamonds. She's going to come into the ball game. So we've got the Twin Towers in the ball game here for Sallisaw. There's a loose ball on the inbound pass. Taylon Collins comes up with it. Hannah Boyette takes a jump shot, and that's no good. I think her foot was on the line. Here's a pass down to Taylon Collins, and a shot up is good for another 2 points. And the Lady Bulldogs lead 17-6 now with 1:20 left in this first quarter. There's a shot by Barker, no good under the basket. Taylon Collins with a rebound. Taylon behind the back, bringing it up the floor. And she's going to dish it off down low, and it's deflected to Paige Hughes. Paige down to Chelsea Passage. Chelsea is going to throw it right to Sallisaw. And here comes Kaylee Bemo. Down to Barker, and she just throws a shot up out of nowhere. Becca Kleinlein with a rebound and a shot, and again, and that's finally good for Sallisaw. So number 55 with her first 2 points of the game, and the score is 17-8 with 40 seconds left. Here's a pass down to Hannah Boyette in the corner. She's going to drive and put a shot up down low, and that's good. No defense at all by Sallisaw on that play. Now here comes Kaylee Vimo. She's going to bring the ball up the floor and a pass over to Barker. Barker's going to somewhat drive, and here is a shot up down low, and that's good off the glass by number 12, Cadence Beach. And the score is 19-10 with 10 seconds left in the first quarter. Here comes Passage. Here's a shot up, and that's good. And there's a jump ball on the inbound pass. Hannah Boyette ties it up and gives it back to the Lady Bulldogs with 2 seconds left on the clock in the first quarter. So we're going to have a quick inbound pass, possibly, I would say, over to my left to McCloria. There's nobody on her at all. And it's inbound to Taylon Collins, and she tries to go up, and that's no good. That's going to do it for the first quarter. The score is 21-10. Your Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead the Sallisaw Lady Diamonds. We're going to take a break, and we will be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Then we're going to bring you back in live for second quarter action. Sallisaw Lady Diamonds have the ball. Mackenzie Beach with a pass over to the right and back to Beach. She's going to drive and kick it out to the three-point line. And Clifton over to the left to Beach for three, and that's an air ball. Rebounded by Sallisaw with a pass down low, and Hannah Boyette is going to get whistled for her second foul, I believe. And that is, yes, Hannah Boyette with her second foul of the ball game in this second quarter. And there is a free throw up and no good by Kasha Teehee. Cash is a 5'5" sophomore guard for the Lady Diamonds, and here's her second shot. And that is also, no, that's good. That bounced right back in. Here's the inbound pass from Boyette to Passage. So Chelsea's going to try to bring the ball up the floor. She's going very, very slow, which is a good pace. 21-11. Lady Bulldogs with the 10-point lead. Here's Paige Hughes on the left. Over to Boyette. Over to Passage. And Maddie Reeves is in the game for the Lady Bulldogs, and she's trying to get open down low. Taylon Collins is getting a breather. And here's Hannah down low to Reeves, and Reeves loses the ball out of bounds. And here comes the inbound pass by Sallisaw, and Beach, one of the Beach sisters, bringing the ball up the floor. Well, they could be cousins. And there's a pass back over to McKenzie. And a pass back over to Tate Stites on the right. She's going to drive and put up a shot. No good. And she gets her own rebound over three Muldrow players. And Tate Stites with the ball again back over to Beach. And Beach back over to Stites for three. Air ball. Hannah Boyette with the rebound. She's on a fast break. And she is going to try to take it all the way, and she gets stripped under the basket. And here comes the Sallisaw Lady Diamonds. And they're going to lose the ball, and I'm going to see a jump ball now. And the ball is going to go back toward the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. Madison Chambers in the game for Hannah Boyette. Gloria out of bounds to Passage. And Passage back over to McCloria. Skip pass over to Paige Hughes. Paige down to Maddie Reeves, and she's going to pass it back out to McCloria, back out to Chelsea. Chelsea with a two-point shot. That's no good. Rebounded by Madison Chambers. Maddie Reeves missed the pass, and Passage down to Chambers. I'm sorry, down to Reeves. And Reeves misses a shot and goes back up and misses again. And Madison Chambers with the rebound, and a putback shot is good. And the Lady Bulldogs lead 23-11. And we've got 5:48 on the clock in this second quarter. Clifton to Sallisaw with the ball over in the corner. Back out to Beach. Back down to Clifton in the corner. skip pass to Teehee. Over to Tate Stites. Stites back to Beach. And Beach takes a jump shot, and that's no good. Rebounded by Maddie Reeves. And Paige Hughes is bringing the ball up the floor. Maddie Reeves is wide open down low, but Paige did not see that. And here is Madison Chambers, and she's going to get fouled by Mackenzie Beach. That is a foul on the floor. Shaylin Mays, Cameron Johnson, Taylon Collins back into the ballgame. Maddie Reeves, Paige Hughes, and Alicia McCloria coming back out. Now we have Chambers, Passage, Johnson, Mays, and Collins in the ballgame for the Lady Bulldogs. Here's the inbound pass by Passage over to Mays, and she passes it out to Madison Chambers and back down to Mays, and she's going to turn around for a shot under the basket. Is no good, but she does get fouled. And that's one thing, Shaylin, I've noticed with her, she has missed a lot of these shots right under the basket. So a lot of missed opportunities, a lot of things to capitalize on if they go back and watch this game film. Shots under the basket, always important. There's a first free throw good by Mays. And second free throw up is no good. Rebounded by Taylon Collins. And she's out to Mays, out to Passage. Passage is going to pull up for a jumper, and that's no good. And Mays with a rebound and goes back up for a shot. And there's Shaylin Mays with a shot under the basket. That one is good, and she is going to go back to the free throw line for a chance for a third point here. The Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead 26-11 with 4:59 left in this second quarter. So the only free throw by Mays here this time around is missed, and Taylon Collins sends the ball directly out of bounds off the referee's dome. And Teehee with the inbound pass to Beach for Sallisaw. And they're bringing it up the floor, and Teehee with a little drive, and she passes it out to Beach for three. Way off the mark, and that ball is last touched by number 55, Becca Kleinlein, the 5'11" sophomore for Sallisaw. And so that is going to be Lady Bulldogs ball. Taylon Collins out of bounds into Chelsea Passage. And Passage bringing the ball up the floor. Ooh, a no-look pass down to Shaylin Mays. And Mays gets stripped and then ties it up, and that ball will go back to Sallisaw. Not too many people being very aggressive in this ball game. A lot of giveaways and a lot of takeaways. But the takeaways seem to be uncontested. Here is Beach bring the ball up the floor for Sallisaw. Over to Teehee. And here is a drive by Cadence Beach. So we've got Cadence and McKenzie both in the game for Sallisaw. And that is going to be Cadence Beach, and she drives down low, gets fouled underneath the basket, and that is the second foul on Shaylin Mays. Free throw is no good. And here's another jump ball. And that's going to point back toward Muldrow. So Madison Chambers taking the ball out. She's going to pass it in to Passage. So with 4:13 left, Chelsea Passage bringing the ball up the floor here in the second quarter. Lady Bulldogs lead 26-11. Not a lot doing for the Lady Diamonds. Here's Taylon Collins with a pass to Cameron Johnson. Skip pass over to Madison Chambers, and she's going to pull up for a jump shot, and that's no good. Rebounded by Kasha Teehee, and the Lady Diamonds with the possession now, bringing the ball up to their side of the floor. There's a shot up by Beach, and that's good. Another 2 points, 26-13 now. Lady Bulldogs with the lead. 3.5 left in the second quarter. There's a pass to Taylon Collins. And Taylon loses the ball. That's going to be a jump ball, and that's going to go back to Sallisaw. And Chelsea Passage checking out of the game. Hannah Boyette checking back in. That means it's time to turn up the heat. The inbound pass here to Mackenzie Beach. Over to Teehee. And Beach with the pull-up jumper, and that's no good. Cameron Johnson with the rebound over to Madison Chambers, and she's bringing the ball up the floor for the Lady Bulldogs. Pass over to Hannah Boyette. Woo, she had Shaylin Mays wide open down low on a break. The old back door. And there's Cameron Johnson. Her shot's no good, and Hannah Boyette with the rebound. She has lost her LeBron headband. And she's got it back on. So Hannah Boyette going to the line. She drew the foul. Here comes Brianna Dawes in the game for Madison Chambers. Hannah B at the line for 2 shots. Here's the first one up. Good. 27-13 now. Lady Bulldogs with the lead. 2:55 left in the second quarter. Second shot is good from the free throw line. And the Lady Bulldogs 28-13 now with the lead. And Beach trying to find something to do. Beach is tiny, and she's up against a 6'1" Taylon Collins. And that ball goes out of bounds. Last touched by, I believe, Hannah Boyette. And so Teehee is going to have the inbound pass for the Lady Diamonds. And there it is. And they're going to lose the ball to Hannah Boyette, and Hannah loses it. And we have another jump ball going back toward Muldrow.
Hannah tried to take off before she got possession of the basketball that time.
Yeah, she did. She tried to run with it before she had the ball firmly in her hands, and she lost it too. And now here's Hannah Boyette with a pass over to Brianna Dawes, back to Taylon Collins. Back to Hannah Boyette, all the way down low to Taylon Collins with a shot up, and that's good for 2. And the Lady Bulldogs are up 30-13 now with 2:18 left in the second quarter. And here's a shot up by Tate Stites down low, and that's good for the Lady Diamonds. Doubled up now, 30-15. Lady Bulldogs with the lead. Hannah Boyette with the ball at the top of the key. And there's a pass over to Brianna Dawes, back to Hannah Boyette. Back to Brianna Dawes. Top of the post to Taylon Collins, and she gives it back to Brianna Dawes. Brianna pulled up. She wanted that three-point shot and thought better of it, and now here's Shaylin Mays with a break to the basket, and her shot up is good. She must have heard what I said, because now she's got her last 2 shots underneath the basket have been a success, and the Lady Bulldogs are up 32-15, and there is a rebound by Brianna Dawes over to Shaylin Mays, and now to Hannah Boyette. She's bringing the ball up the floor. And Cameron Johnson down to Shaylin Mays, and she's going to kick it back to Brianna Dawes for a 2-point shot, and that's good.
Dawes' first points in this contest.
And we've got a little buzzer on the floor. Small substitution here for Sallisaw. So after the out of bounds by Sallisaw, here is Chelsea Posage bringing the ball up the floor for the Lady Bulldogs. Paige Hughes down to Brianna Dawes, down to Maddie Reeves, and Maddie puts a shot up, is no good. Brianna Dawes with a rebound, no good. Maddie Reeves with a rebound, and that's no good. And now Sallisaw brings the ball down the floor, and Bemo gets stripped by Posage, and she's on a mad dash, and she loses the ball, and Sallisaw is going to touch it out of bounds, and that's going to be Muldrow basketball. And the inbound pass gets deflected. And we're going to have another out of bounds. That's going to go back towards Sallisaw. And so the Lady Diamonds are going to bring the ball inbound here. Kaylee Bemo back in the game. 24 seconds left in this half. And Barker with a pass back out to Tate Stites, and there's a shot, no good, rebounded by the 6'2" Maddie Reeves. 10 seconds left, and Chelsea Passage bringing the ball up the floor for the Lady Bulldogs. Not a lot of time to figure out what they want to do. Here's McClory for three. Nailed it. Nailed it. Alicia McClory with a three-point shot right before the buzzer, and that's going to do it for the half, and the Lady Bulldogs are up 37-15. This one is already a blowout, and we still have the second half to go. We're going to play a couple of commercials, ones that we did not get to hit during the first half, and we will be right back with stats. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Line's Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Yeah, we're going to bring you back in live. Dennis is still writing things down in his trusty notebook, his handy-dandy notebook, if you will, if you're a Blues Clues fan. I don't have the sound effects, but it is halftime, and the Lady Bulldogs lead the Lady Diamonds of Sallisaw 37-15. Dennis, what do we have by the way of numbers?
Well, I worked up the scoring. I was able to work up the scoring. Pretty balanced scoring by both teams, but there's just not a whole lot of it coming from the Sallisaw girls. I'll figure out the shooting percentages here, but I can tell you they're not very good for either team just from looking at the numbers here. But leading the way in that first half was Collins. Collins finished with 8 points to lead the Lady Bulldogs. 5 points each from Hannah Boyette and Shaylin Mays. We had 4 points from Johnson, 3 points from McClory there on that buzzer beater at the very end. And then I had 4 points from Chambers. Nobody scored more than 4 points for Sallisaw. That was Stites. Stites finished with 4. I had 3 points for Bemo on a three-pointer, 2 points each for Candace Beach, Clifton, and the other Beach girl. I don't know her first name.
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie had 2 points as well. Wrapping up the scoring was a free throw by Teehee, and that's what leads us to this 37-15 halftime score.
Yeah, you know, the Lady Bulldogs are coming off that big championship win against the Roland Lady Rangers the other night, Saturday night to be exact, in the finals of the Sequoyah County Area Classic. So we've got our Sequoyah County champion, Lady Bulldogs, on top, just like Dennis said, 37-15. We've got about 7 minutes left here in halftime. That's going to do it for the stats. So we're going to take you back. We're going to run some ads. We've got some people listening. We've got a lot of people on the website. We've got a few people on Mixler. And if you are listening, put it on Facebook and spread the word, folks. That's how this is successful. And we want to thank everybody for listening live. We will be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Line's Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. And we're going to bring you back in live for second half action. My name is Clint Davis. Alongside me, Dennis McCaslin. We are with todayinfortsmith.com and Sallisaw with the basketball to start this second half. Lady Bulldogs, right where we left off, lead 37-15. And Bemo over to Beach. Everybody's trying to find a place to go here. And Beach over to Stites. Stites back over to Beach, and there's a three-point shot, and that's no good. Rebounded by, that's going to be Teehee, and there was some shenanigans under the basket here. And the ball's out of bounds, and that's going to be Muldrow ball. And here comes Hannah Boyette over to Taylon Collins, over to Cameron Johnson. Back over to Hannah Boyette, looking down low, and there's Taylon Collins wide open. There's Cameron Johnson with a shot, and that's no good. Rebounded by Mia Maxwell, and she needs to slow down on her fouls. I noticed she's back in the game. She picked up 3 early in the second quarter. Here's a shot by Teehee, no good. Rebounded by Hannah Boyette. Hannah bringing the ball up the floor for the Lady Bulldogs, and a pass up to Cameron Johnson, and she did not expect that coming. and she launched it like a hot grenade, and that went
But the
directly.
only chance she had, they were going to get her for a walk if she didn't throw it.
I've never seen anybody launch a pass like that.
She kind of caught that in between steps and knew they were going to give her the walk.
That
so
was
said,
great.
I just give it up.
And here's Tate Stites on the floor. There's the jump ball. So what happened was Cameron Johnson threw it straight out of bounds because she didn't know what to do with it. Somebody had pulled the pin from that grenade, and she said, "Not in my house." And so Sallisaw got the ball back. They came back down to their side of the floor and could not figure out what to do with it. Jump ball, Hannah Boyette bringing the ball up for Muldrow. There's a pass over to Madison Chambers. Down to the corner to Shaylin Mays, and she's going to give it to Taylon Collins, and she's going to power her way out and give it to Cameron Johnson. That's her sweet spot, and she nailed it for another 2 points. She's always hot from that left corner.
Johnson now with 6.
And I don't know what is going on here. Lots of booing going on.
I don't know what's going on here.
I guess they called a foul on Teehee when Mays went to the floor. They're giving the ball back. Sallisaw was bringing the ball up to their side of the floor, and now they're giving the ball to Muldrow. And I think the referees are going to have a meeting of the minds, and that's way above my pay grade, so we're going to take a break, and we will be right back.
You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com.
Unbelievable. Here we're back in live with you, and I just accidentally answered a phone call, and now I've got to hang up. That's the second phone call I've got. People don't pay attention to my Facebook. It's a miracle because I can have 3,000 or 4,000 on my reach on every post I put up. And nobody knows I'm broadcasting a game right now. There's Hannah Boyette with a shot up. And it's the best of my friends who don't pay attention. Taylon Collins with a shot down low, and that's good.
That's like the night that I had to do the rolling game from the bleachers on my phone. About every 15 minutes, somebody called me, and I'd have to re-hook up back up.
Yeah, nobody knows what we're doing. The Muldrow fans know what we're doing. They're the ones not calling. They're the ones listening, the ones who aren't here tonight. Taylon Collins did draw the foul after those 2 points, and she is at the free throw line, and there's one in and good. And the Lady Bulldogs now lead 42-15. I would say this one's getting a little bit out of hand at this point. There's BMO over to the left. Back to BMO. BMO having to give it up. There's Teehee over to Stites. Coach Brunk calling for a back door down to the basket. Nobody moving. And here's Tate Stites down low. Goes up for a shot. Gets fouled. No telling who this is going to be on. That's going to be on Taylon Collins.
I want to correct something. When I did the stats earlier, I'd be remiss. Miss Passage had a bucket that because she's not on the roster.
I know. We can't find her anywhere. There's a
But
shot up.
she did have a bucket in the first half.
Passage is a freshman, so that's why she's not showing up on the main roster here for the Lady Bulldogs. First free throw up by Stites is no good. Here's the second free throw up. That's in and out. Hannah Boyette with a rebound, and she is trucking down the floor like Thundercats. And there's a pass over to Cameron Johnson in the corner, and she misses her shot. And there's a pass from Stites over to BMO. Lady Diamonds bringing the ball up the floor. Madison Chambers with the foul. Sallisaw just kind of lost the ball out of bounds, but they're going to go ahead and whistle somebody with a foul anyway. Got to get a little bit of help at this point. 42-15. Lady Bulldogs lead. Tate Stites down low with a shot, and that's good. And I believe Cameron Johnson and Taylon Collins were down low, and they just kind of let her go straight to the hoop. I don't blame them at this point. They can afford to give up a couple of points and save their fouls. Here's Taylon Collins. She gets the ball knocked out of bounds. And that ball is going to stay with And now here comes the message. Oh, you're broadcasting. Sorry about that. Hey, no problem. No problem, James. And the Lady Diamonds looking for
Clint,
stop here.
You and I discussed in the car on the way over here how this Lady Bulldog team, they're ranked as high as they are, just the one loss to Owasso, but this is going to be a force to reckon with for a couple of years.
Oh, good grief! Yeah, I mean, Muldrow's only lose. There's the ball out of bounds. Salisaw's going to get it back. Muldrow is only going to lose 2 players off of this team. They're going to lose Brianna Dawes, who comes off the bench for Muldrow and is a great asset. And also Cameron Johnson, she's a senior. They're going to lose her. She is a starter. There's a 3-point shot by BMO for Sallisaw, and that's good. But the rest of these players, Dennis, for Muldrow, they're going to stay here. And I mean, I'm telling you, I don't want to sit and predict the future, but it's going to be a great run in the postseason this year for Muldrow. And if they don't win it all this year, they've got a great shot at doing it next year. So here's Madison Chambers down low after that 3-point blast. Hannah Boyette down to Cameron Johnson, that left corner, and she missed her shot. Taylon Collins with the rebound. And a pass over to Madison Chambers.
Lady Bulldogs have only hit 1 of 7 shots from the floor here in the second half.
Yeah, they've gone kind of slow. Here's Taylon Collins at the 3-point line. Pass down low to Cameron Johnson and out to Madison Chambers at the free throw line for a shot. That's no good. Hannah Boyette gets the rebound but blows it out of bounds and gives it right back to Sallisaw.
Lady Bulldogs shot 66% from the floor in the first half, but they've definitely slowed down a little bit here, cooled off.
And they've got room to do it. I mean, it's 42-20, They're okay. Kaylee Bemo bringing the ball up the floor for Sallisaw, and a pass over to the right to Beach. And a pass to Tate Stites, and Stites almost loses it. Bemo over to the other Beach, and that's no good for 3. And Shane Mays blocks the shot on the play. I wish the referee would have been watching from where I am on the stage, because that was not even close to a foul. That was a great block. Great defense. And so now we will see Cadence Beach at the free throw line. First shot is up and good. Lady Diamonds really closing that gap. 42-21 now. 2:59 left in the third quarter. Lady Bulldogs with a commanding lead as always. And there's the other shot, and that's no good. Rebounded by Cameron Johnson, and Cameron's going to go ahead and bring it up the floor by herself. Pass it over to Madison Chambers and back to Hannah Boyette at the top of the key. And over to the right-hand side and back to Cameron Johnson at the top, over to the left. Hannah Boyette going to drive and dish it off to Shaylin Mays. And she almost loses the ball. Back to Hannah Boyette for 3. And almost bing-bong on that, but she misses. Taylon Collins with the rebound, and she goes back up for the shot. And that is good.
Dozen points on the night now for Taylon.
1 dozen. Give her a free throw, and it'll be a baker's dozen. Here is Bemo with the ball. Muldrow cheerleaders calling for a D up, and there is Hannah Boyette deflecting the pass out of bounds. As always, great defense by Hannah Boyette. That's why she leads the way. And now, mercy sakes, Brianna Dawes is back in the game. Chelsea Passage, Maddie Reeves, Alicia McCloria, and little tiny Paige Hughes back in the game for Muldrow.
Wholesale substitutions.
Wholesale. Damn near a bargain. Here is Sallisaw with the ball up top. And from one Beach to another. There's the pass back to Mackenzie Beach. She cannot get around Alicia McCloria. And here's Tate Stites. And the ball is loose, and little Paige Hughes comes up with it. And she's zooming down the floor and throws it on into Passage. And Tate Stites with the chest bump and just about threw Passage into the bleachers.
Yeah, Stites about 1.5 feet taller.
Yeah, that could have ended badly. And here is Passage out of bounds, and she's going to pass it in to McCloria. And Passage underneath the basket zooms out to the left side. She's got the ball on the left wing over to McCloria, over to Paige Hughes. And Paige over to Brianna Dawes. And Passage pulls up for a jumper. No good. Rebounded by Brianna Dawes. And she saves the possession for the Lady Bulldogs. And they don't want to leave Brianna Dawes open at the three-point line. Here's Maddie Reeves with a spin around and back to Brianna, and she pulls up for a jumper. And that's no good on the run. Rebounded by Becca Kleinlein for Sallisaw. And here comes Barker up the floor with the ball. Pass over to Beach, and she's going to drive and kick it right back out to the top and throw it out of bounds. She tried to dish it off to Caitlin Clifton. She's a 5'6" freshman forward. And Clifton could not reach that pass. It was a little overthrown in my opinion. And now here's Passage coming up the floor for the Lady Bulldogs. We're still 44-21 with 42 seconds left in this third quarter. Ball over to Brianna Dawes, down to Maddie Reeves, and she goes up for two, and that's good. And here come the Sallisaw Lady Diamonds up the floor. And the ball is out to Barker, and now they've thrown it down low, and here's a pass back to Barker. And over to the left to Clifton, back to Barker, back to Teehee, and in the corner to Cammie Riggs. Back to Barker, and Teehee is wide open for three, and that's no good. Rebounded by Maddie Reeves. Alicia McCloria with the ball now, bringing the ball up for the Lady Bulldogs. Over to the left side, and Brianna Dawes cannot catch that pass, but that's okay because that's the end of three at the end of the third quarter. The Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead 46-21. We're going to the fourth, but we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com.
Then we're going to bring you back in live. I'm a little bit late. We went ahead and let Sparkman Animal Clinic run their ad since they saved my Cocker Spaniel's life when I was a child. That's a true story, by the way. I've told it before. I'll probably tell it again. Sallisaw with the inbound pass and a drive down low and gets fouled, and that is, looks like number 14. I think that's Cammie Riggs at the line. Her first free throw is no good. Muldrow cheerleaders screaming right at me. There's a second shot, no good, and Riggs with her own rebound, and she gets fouled on the floor, so the ball is going to go out of bounds. We've got 5 team fouls now against Muldrow and 4 against Sallisaw. And here's the inbound pass to Clifton. She has not taken a shot yet. She's going to try to work around McClory and gives it up to Barker and back over to Teehee. Back to Barker, and Barker back to Clifton. Clifton over to Teehee and back. There's Clifton with the ball again, and she thought about taking a shot, but she is going to take 2 different dribbles. And her mama says that's okay, shake it off. So we're going to see the Lady Bulldogs bringing the ball back down the floor. Here is Chelsea Passage with a 25-point lead for the Lady Bulldogs. Brianna Dawes in the corner. Don't leave her open long. And here's Maddie Reeves down low, and she puts up a shot. No good. Rebounded by Sallisaw, but they lost the ball. And so Muldrow, the ladies, will take the ball out of bounds here. And there is a shot good by number 25, Maddie Reeves. And here's a pass over to the right. I'm sorry, my left. And lots of ball movement. Teehee for 3, and that's no good. Rebound Sallisaw. Dennis making some adjustments over there, getting ready for more stats. There's Clifton for 3. Nails it. Caitlin Clifton, I just mentioned she had not taken a shot yet, but she has now, and that's a 3-point shot good. And here comes Passage up the floor for the Lady Bulldogs. And Brianna Dawes down low puts up a shot, and that's good. Lady Bulldogs now 50-24. Barker with the ball out top, over to the left. And a drive down low is lost. Maddie Reeves comes up with it. Little Paige Hughes running down the floor, and she kicks it out to Passage, and Passage gets blocked. And then Passage blocks a pass and knocks it out of bounds. And Sallisaw will retain possession. Barker with the ball out of bounds, and she's going to pass it in to Teehee. Back over to Barker. Ball back over to Teehee, down to Clifton in the corner. And Alicia McCloria has learned that she does not want to leave Clifton home alone in that corner. There's a shot, no good. Lacey Smithson now in the ball game for Muldrow. Barker back down to Clifton in the corner. Pass to McCloria, picks it off, and she's on a fast break. Barker on defense, and Barker fouls McCloria. And so Alicia will go to the line for 2 shots with 5:18 left in the fourth quarter. Lady Bulldogs up 50-24. Alicia McClory with the opportunity to put them up 52-24. First shot by McCloria, no good. Still a lot of missed opportunities from the free throw line. Muldrow could beat everybody by 100 points if they would hit their free shots. Second shot, no good. Rebounded by Lacey Smithson, but the ball's knocked away. Teehee with the possession for Sallisaw. Clifton wide open down here. Nobody looking at her. Riggs now with the ball, driving, and a shot up. Maddie Reeves blocks it and comes up with the ball, and now the ball is over to McClory, and she's bringing the ball up for the Lady Diamonds. Pass down low to Lacey Smithson, and that shot is good for 2. And the Lady Bulldogs lead 52-24, almost a 30-point lead here. Here's Clifton with a drive, and she's going to throw the ball away. And here comes Paige Hughes up the floor, and she chunks at the Passage. And Chelsea goes up with a shot, and nobody bothers whistling on that one. Shot's no good, rebounded by Mia Maxwell. And now we are going to see Sallisaw put almost their entire starting offense back in, with the exception of number 44, Brindley McDaniel. She's a 5'9" freshman forward. She will be in the game here for the Lady Diamonds. Time to get some folks a little bit of playing time. Here is Mackenzie Beach down to Barker in the corner, and Barker out to, well, who's this one? We've got a new one in the game, Sarah Pettit. Also a freshman. So Coach Robert Brunk doing a great job at getting his younger players some playing time here against these great Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. There's a shot no good by Sallisaw, rebounded by Lacey Smithson from Muldrow. And now here comes Chelsea Passage down the floor. 3:58 left in the fourth quarter, 52-24. The Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead the Sallisaw Lady Diamonds. There's a pass over into the corner to Brianna Dawes, and a pass back out to Chelsea Passage. And she gets knocked down by Mackenzie Beach. And they're going to call that on the floor. Paige Hughes checks out of the game for Muldrow. And here is the inbound pass to Passage. And she is going to kick the ball over to the left side and back to Passage. And there's a pass down low to Maddie Reeves, and she is going to get fouled on that play. Megan Powell also in the game for Muldrow, number 11. Maddie Reeves, 6'2". She is 6'2". There's the shot up, and her first free throw is good. So Maddie Reeves putting points on the board again for the Lady Bulldogs. More substitutions now for Sallisaw.
Reeves with 5 points in this one so far.
Yes, Reeves with only 5. She missed her second free throw. And Sallisaw with the rebound. They're going to bring the ball down the floor. And that was Sarah Pettit bringing the ball down over to Mackenzie Beach, over to Clifton, and she gives it back to Pettit. And there is a pass down low with a shot by Emma Nance, and that shot was no good, and the Lady Bulldogs have possession. Chelsea Passage almost tripping. She's going to slow the ball down. And she's going to dish it off to Lacey Smithson, but Lacey did not expect that coming. The Lady Bulldogs, one of their biggest areas of opportunity in this game, and I know some people will listen to this playback, communication. They have got to start communicating better when they're passing this basketball. Here's a pass down low by Sallisaw, and a shot up by Pettit is good. 53-26 now. Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead. 2.5 minutes left in the ball game. The crowd is just
asleep.
That DOA. They kind of knew the way this game was going to go down. There's a foul down low. Man, the Bulldogs rock the house. They rock it all the way down. Here's Chelsea Passage out of bounds. And she is about to throw the ball in for the Lady Bulldogs. Brianna Dawes over to Maddie Reeves. Over to Chelsea Passage, back to Brianna Dawes. Over to Megan Powell, and she's got Lacey down wide open down low, but Lacey can't hang on to the pass. Maddie Reeves comes up with it and hands it back out to Passage. Chelsea Passage with a drive, and she's going to step on the line under the basket. And that's out of bounds. The ball is going to come back over to Sallisaw. Clifton with the inbound pass here, over to Barker. Barker back to Clifton. Clifton with a drive back to Barker. 3-point shot, and that's no good. Rebounded by Maddie Reeves. And over to Brianna Dawes. Over to Chelsea Passage with 1:45 left in this ball game. Over to the right side to Brianna Dawes. And she throws it away. Barker now bringing the ball up the floor for Sallisaw. And Clifton almost took that three and pulls up the two and way off the mark. And we've got a foul by a new player in the game, Jayla Douglas. She is also, good grief. Coach Brunk has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 freshmen on this team. And I guarantee you they have all seen the floor tonight. So good job on the part of Coach Brunk getting all these younger players in this ball game. And we did have a foul there on Jayla Douglas, a freshman, and Brianna Dawes is at the line for 2 shots, so that's just going to be a 1-and-1. The first shot is good, so she will be here for a second with a 54-26 lead. 1.5 left on the clock. Second shot is up and nothing but net. So we've got Powell, Reeves, Passage, Dawes, and Smithson in the game for the Lady Bulldogs to finish this one up. 1:22 left on the clock. There's Douglas with the ball for Sallisaw. She's going to dribble and drive all the way over to the right. Over to Barker, back to Douglas, and she's going to drive down and put a shot up. No good. Rebound by Reeves, and she's going to pass it over to Passage. Passage is going to drive and go up for a shot and get hammered. So she'll be going, Chelsea Passage will be going to the line for 2 shots, 2 free throws. Man, here is the first one. That is no good. And Dennis trying to go to sleep on me again over here.
I caught that one before it got out.
So did everybody listening. There's another shot up good by Passage, and Sallisaw with the ball now. 1 minuto left on the clock. I don't even know if that's how you say it. There's the pass. And down. Back out to the top, and a shot by Douglas. No good. Everybody's proud to be a Bulldog right now. Ball went out of bounds after the shot. And Megan Powell with a pass inbound to Chelsea Passage. Chelsea's going to bring it up the floor very, very slowly. And the Lady Bulldogs in no hurry. Pass over to Dawes, back to Passage, over to Powell, back to Passage again, over to Dawes, way over to Powell, back to Passage. 13 seconds left. I'm not going to give you every pass play here. Lacey Smithson gives it back to Brianna Dawes. 3 seconds left on the clock, and Passage is going to give it back to Dawes to drain the clock. That is the end of the ball game, and the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs win this one by 30 with a score of 56-26. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with stats after a word from our sponsors.
You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com.
Then we're going to bring you back in live after the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs win that ball game by 30 points. Dennis is ready with stats. So, Dennis, what do you got for us on the game?
Clint, the problem in the game was with Sallisaw, they hung pretty tight early on. I mean, they stayed within 6-8 points early, but after the first half, they just could not maintain that 30-point lead. And part of that problem was they only shot 9 of 47 from the field. That's 9 field goals all night long, 2-point, 3-point. You can't win against the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs shooting like that. The scoring, we had 9 players, or 10 players actually score for the Lady Bulldogs tonight. Leading the way, of course, Taylon Collins. Collins didn't play much in the second half, finished with 12 points. 9 points for Hannah Boyette. 7 points for Reeves. McCloria had 2 3-pointers for 6 points. Mays and Chambers both finished with 5 points each. 4 points for Dawes and 2 points for Smithson, Lacey Smithson.
You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com.